Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy BB27, the SML reviewer, and welcome to my March 2024 SML recap video. So, it's already been a month since my last recap video, and this is only my second month recap. So, I'm still getting kind of used to doing these. These are a lot of videos we're going to be reviewing today. And it's going to be kind of like last time how I did them in little small chunks. I'm not really going to be getting too in-depth with some of these videos. And a lot of these I already reviewed on the channel, but I did review less this month than I did the last month. So a lot of these you actually don't know my opinion on, which I think you guys will, be excited to see. So we're just gonna hop right into it with the first video of March, Dougie's KFC pizza. This video was actually really good, and it had me a little bit excited for March, which is kind of sad because March wasn't really that great of a month, at least from what I remember. There was some bangers, and this is definitely one of them. I'd give this video honestly like an 8 or an 8.5 out of 10. The acting's great in it. The Colonel is hilarious. I hope they bring him back. They haven't brought him back at all since this video, but just amazing role by Pablo. And just a lot of funny jokes. Like, I love how they had the whole Ronald McDonald comes back in it, which that is kind of the weakest part of the video for me. Like, everything else really, is good, but then they have Ronald McDonald randomly in there for, I don't know, 3 minutes, and it just kind of takes up time. But it is a really good video, and Dougie himself just doesn't really do a whole lot. Like, Dougie's such a dried out, not overused, I guess, but he's just such a dried out, shell of his former self. Like, he just doesn't really have anything great left in him, which is kind of sad. But the rest of the video, yeah, like I said, very funny, just absolutely hilarious moments, especially near the ending with the big fight and the random, ball joke with the grease. It gets a little bit weird, but it gets funny. So, yeah, really good video to start off the month. Moving on to the next video. Alright, so now we got Chef Jr. This video is one I actually did review, one of the few rare March reviews, and this one's a little bit odd. I did like it a lot, but there was a lot of lost potential with this video, which I feel like I kind of forgot to mention back in that review. But yeah, this video could have been something a lot more. Like, the whole Chef Jr. idea sounds great on paper, with him kind of taking over Chef PB's role and just being kind of like the new Chef PB. But instead of focusing on that, they focus heavily on just a bunch of random shit. Like, they have this whole arc in there where Joseph's trying to kill Bowser, and he's kind of going back to his old psychotic ways, which personally I like a lot because I miss when Joseph had a lot of depth to his character like that and being a psycho. But just it's kind of random how it happened. And I mean, Chef Pee-Pee's funny in it, Bowser's kind of funny in it, but it just feels like it loses its direction really fast and kind of falls off. But it's not a bad video, it's just weird and random, but I liked it despite the lost potential. So I'm going to give this one probably an 8 out of 10 as well. Granted, my rating might have changed if you go back and check. I don't remember exactly what I gave it a month ago, but it's a good video from what I remember. I don't remember hating it. I just don't really, I feel like they just kind of didn't really know what they were doing with this one, unfortunately, even though it is a good idea on paper. So yeah, moving on. Alright, so now we got Shrek's Endless Cheesecake. This one is a banger, and it's probably one of the biggest videos of the month. Probably the biggest, honestly. This is the video where they fully brought back Shrek. Granted, he was in Jeffy Ball Z5, which was February, but yeah, Shrek has his own video for the first time in years, and it's pretty good. I might have overhyped this one a little bit when I reviewed it. It was one of my last reviews before I took a break from SML reviews. But this one, I mean, yes, it was great, funny Shrek jokes, not so much focused on the poop and toilet humor, but more focused on him just being a big fat ass and eating all the cheesecake, which is great. But the problem with this video is it kind of suffers from Brooklyn Guy and just his whole kind of whiny, bitchy attitude in the modern day SML videos. Over the years, he's just become more and more whiny, more and more kind of just, he's just a pain in the ass to watch. He's just he's insufferable, honestly, sometimes. But that takes over the video, and what I mean by all of that is basically like in this video he just whines at the waiter or the waitress. He just whines at her for the entire thing and makes fun of her and calls her all these names and blah 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 and threatens her with the money and shit. It's funny, granted, yeah, a little bit, but it's supposed to be about Shrek, and all Shrek is in the video is more of like a background character. Granted, he does kind of have some main lines in it, especially near the ending, but they don't really like shine the light too much on him and make it all about him like they probably should have. They make it more about Brooklyn guy, which is just annoying, but it's still a great video. The ending's really cool with the Woody reveal, and I remember I uploaded a short about the Woody reveal, and that popped off with the views. It was a great like little short. It was like a cool Woody reveal, and that was awesome. But since then, they haven't really used Shrek or Woody in March after this video. I could be wrong. Maybe my memory's just fuzzy, but I don't think they've brought back either of them since this. So a bit sad. It's been a while, but hopefully in April they will be using Shrek or at least Woody for a one-off video. But yeah, I'm gonna give this one maybe like an 8.5 or 7.5. Maybe it's a little bit lower. I mean, it's a great video, but it does suffer from some stupid shit. So yeah, moving. All right, now we got this video, Jeffy and the Jeff Monks. This video is just downright awful. I have not cringed at an SML video like this in a long time. I mean, this feels like videos like, Inside Jeffy and just like 2016 Jeffy videos that were like super just childish. I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, so the whole idea here is that it's a parody of like Alvin and the Chipmunks, which is just dumb. It's just them doing another parody of a movie, which if you guys actually watched my video about how Logan should improve, that was one of the things I remember mentioning is how he should stop doing these parodies or at the very least pick better films to do them on, because Alvin and the Chipmunks is a clearly pretty obviously like annoying film, and the fact that Logan put his own little spin on it doesn't really help. It's a crap video. The music videos in it are shitty and annoying and cringy. The whole plot with, it's basically just the movie's plot. Like, oh, the music producer guy steals them or whatever. I didn't watch the movie, but that's kind of the gist of it. Like the music producer, which is like Pablo in this case, and Marvin, gets all greedy, which I don't like the switch up. Marvin hates the Jeff Monks for the entire video up until he learns about it. Oh, I can get money from them, and then he becomes a greedy asshole and tries to steal them back, and then he realizes he can't do that, so then it just ends. Awful video. This is like maybe a 1 or a 2 out of 10, and I know that may seem pretty harsh to you guys because I'm not usually dropping scores like that. Every now and then, yeah, but this video deserves it. It's a shitty video, and I can say that like 100% confident. I can say that shit. It sucks, and it was annoying to watch. So moving on. All right, now we got Cody Goes to Kindergarten Part 2. This one's definitely an improvement over the first one and expands on kind of what they had going. But it also doesn't take it too much further, like Part 3, which we'll get into a little bit later. But Part 2 is really good. Maybe one day when the series finishes, I'll do an entire, like, group reviews episode on it to bring those back. Or maybe I'll just do, like, a standalone video about the whole series and how I felt. Because it is a really good series, and it's definitely a big improvement over the last video. At least it's not just, like, a stupid movie parody. It's actually something good. But yeah, I mean, it's more of just the annoying kind of, like, bratty kids with Cody. The chemistry is definitely stronger this time, and the teacher has more, kind of focused on her and her problems, which I absolutely found hilarious. And knowing, not what I know now with Part 3, I'm glad that they started focusing on the teacher, aka like Patrick's mom. They start focusing on her more because the jokes from that are hilarious, and it just makes it feel so much more realistic, like a really shitty school. And it's just a great, series. Not perfect, it has flaws, and sometimes the kids are annoying, but it's a pretty good episode. But not the best one. I can say that for sure, it's not the best one. Maybe like a 9 out of 10 or an 8.5 out of 10. Really good, though. Really funny, but definitely not the best one. So yeah, moving on. So now we got Junior finds a missing plane. This video just kind of happened. It feels like they were trying to go for an old school Junior and Friends adventure, but they kind of missed the mark completely on what made those good. Like, what I mean by that is, like, usually back then, you have episodes like The Elevator and stuff like that, where Junior and his friends would actually go outside and do something in the world, and it would just be way funnier and way more interesting. And Junior would be a dumbass in those episodes, but it'd be like, it would make sense for the situation. situation. With this one, it's just them at the house, just with Junior being a dumbass like he used to be, which he always kind of is, but he feels a little more like old Junior in this video. How, he kind of just wants like to blow up on the news about finding this missing plane, and he comes up with all these different like scenarios and lies, and he makes up all these drawings about where the plane could be, because basically the whole video's plot is about the missing like airplane like years and years ago, which I don't know why they're making a video about that now. It's not even like a relevant topic anymore, but it's kind of funny. Like, it's funny how much Junior goes through, and I gotta say my favorite part of the video is right near the end when Junior just completely gives up and admits that it's all bullshit, and that he's like, his plan fails, and he's like, oh shit, man, oh damn, and then just goes to like the SML question, because like the old Junior wouldn't really do that, and I feel like the modern Junior doing that is just really funny, and it just kind of like shows how much he just doesn't really care. Like, granted, he kind of just knows he's like full of himself now. He's a little more self-aware, which I like. But I don't know, the video itself, maybe like a 6 out of 10. Could have been a lot better. It feels like it was dragged on a little too long, and like I said, the topic just isn't relevant, which I guess there's nothing wrong with making a video on a topic that's not relevant, but I mean, this is just kind of dumb, like really dumb. So yeah, maybe like a 6. Moving on. All right, now we have Cody Goes to Kindergarten Part 3. This is easily the best one in the series so far. Granted, it's not, I can't 100% say it's going to be the best forever, but this is easily the best out of the first 3. It has the most action going on, the best jokes in the series. The bratty kids aren't as annoying this time around. Granted, they still are a little bit annoying, but the flaws from episode 1 and 2 aren't really strong as they were. It's more focused on Cody, like, beating up one of them, which I found satisfying, even though he was kind of all in his head, but it was just hilarious. And then it's also focused heavily on the teacher, which is kind of what I wanted back with part 1 and 2. And this time her whole like ex-boyfriend comes in there, but like she's still with him, I guess, and she's like, this dude is the dad of one of the kids, and then that plays a whole thing in the episode, and there's just so many good jokes in this one. I mean, I was laughing my ass off so hard at this video. I'm gonna say it's like a 9 out of 10 right away. It is really good. It's not perfect, but it's getting better and better each time they do Cody Goes to Kindergarten, and I just love how it just gets so crazy so fast, and the jokes are pretty edgy. It feels almost like 2014-15 SML, which I like a lot. And I was also surprised when this one came out, because it came out so soon after part 2. I thought Logan would make us wait like 5 months and then drop part 3, but it almost seemed like he kind of cares about this series a little more. Granted, we haven't had a part 4 yet, but it hasn't been too long either. So I'm just very looking forward to where the series is going to go. It seems like he really has a lot of fresh ideas with it. Like, nothing is getting too stale. Usually by part 3, it starts being like, okay, Logan, we get it. But, this is actually working so far, and I really hope he continues this series, because the jokes in this one are just the best they ever are, like they ever were. And yeah, it's great. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Moving on. Now we got the pot of gold. This is the first outside video in a long time. I guess there's been a couple last year, but I never really paid attention to them. This one though, I watched, and it was really good. It's no 10 out of 10. It's no Boehner perfection video. But for what it is, it's really good. It uses a bit of a cliche plot that I've noticed in a lot of modern day like cartoons and sitcoms. Kind of this plot where like, oh, like the whole town gathers together to find this one thing, or like this missing money, or like this goal or something, you know what I mean? Like, they try to get this reward, and they all fight each other for it and go on their own separate paths to get it. And granted, it's not an awful idea. I like Logan's little spin on it, and the characters he uses in this one are really good. You get to see, Goodman and his butler doing stuff. You get to see Junior and the boys doing their own thing. You get to see like Jeffy, Marvin, Rose, and they got their own stuff going on. Brooklyn guy and Simmons with the actual leprechaun himself, which I thought the leprechaun could have done a little bit better. It's not, that guy's best character. He's the same dude who plays Ronald, but it's all right. I think it's fine. The animation's there too, which I'm kind of neglecting to even mention because I don't like the animations. But yeah, it's a good video. It's very creative. They're all running around in this like giant forest, which I didn't even know Logan ever filmed that. Like, I wish he would use this forest more for videos, but I guess he just doesn't really have much of a purpose for it. But yeah, this is like a Boehner video. It's It's a bit much sometimes, but I'm gonna give it like a 8.5 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's creative and it's unique, and I wish he would just do more outside videos like this in general, and I'm glad he finally did one. So yeah, moving on. So now we got Brooklyn Guy's Makeover. This one I actually love a lot. It's a lot better than Pot of Gold. I can say that already. It is such a good video. I kind of forgot about this one a little bit, but it was definitely one of the better videos in March. Probably the best video in March, one of the like second best. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, this video is absolutely hilarious. And it introduces a new character for the first time in a long time, Chef Pee-Pee's gay cousin, which he was absolutely hilarious in it. I loved how his whole chemistry with Brooklyn Guy and Marvin Rose, like it just kind of bounced off everyone really well. And they kind of fit the gay stereotype in a really good way this time. Like it doesn't feel too forced. It feels like more like natural. And it's just funny because we get to see like, some more Chef Pee-Pee lore kind of happening there, and I like that a lot. But the main idea here is that Brooklyn Guy wants to basically all this shit happens to him, and he needs. Oh yeah, it's about his bald spot. That's right, I almost forgot. It's about like his bald spot, so he wants a makeover, and he even gets legs, and then he runs around doing shit with legs, which was funny because they kind of explored that ideas there with him having legs for once. And then he like cheats on Karen again with like a hoe from the strip club, and then he literally kicks her out, and then goes inside, banes the hoe, and then the like mafia dude comes in there and like shoots up his legs, and then Brooklyn Guy loses his legs, which all of that was just absolutely hilarious, just golden content, and and then yeah, he comes back. He's kind of talking about it, but it's just such a funny video. Like it's a bit unique. It's a bit different. And, I just like it a lot. Like Brooklyn Guy isn't too whiny in it, and the new ideas here are really cool. And I would love to see more videos like Chef Pee-Pee's gay cousin. So I'm gonna go 9 out of 10 again for this episode. Really good. Yeah, actually March is a little bit better than I thought. But there's definitely still some rough patches. So yeah, moving on. And now we're at one of those rough patches again. Jeffy's Shooting Star. I do not like this video. This video is awful. It's not complete garbage. No, it's not like offensively bad, but it's just rough. It is a stupid video. It's just another really bad Jeffy video. Feels like it came out of 2017 almost. It's just the same jokes, the green bean shit, just Jeffy being naive. He like goes outside and thinks that Brooklyn Guy crashing a plane is a shooting star, and he does all this random stuff with that and tries to wish for things, but it's obviously all just Jeffy being dumb. There's also this little arc in the beginning with him burning a pizza, which wasn't funny, and just nothing with Brooklyn Guy is that great in here either. Like I know what they're trying to go for with him doing so much ridiculous stuff, like he crashed into the school, and Jeffy keeps thinking that that's a shooting star, and he doesn't realize it. But none of it works. Like none of it is good. None of it's funny. It feels like all filler, and it feels like they kind of had an idea, but they just didn't know what to do with it at all, and it wasn't really that great of an idea to begin with, so it just completely falls flat on its face. It's maybe a 4 out of 10. Granted, there's still some funny jokes in here, and like I said, I mean, they had something, but it wasn't very good anyways to begin with. Just felt very lazy, felt very rushed. That's kind of two key takeaways there with this video. Just not good. A little bit better than Jeffy and the Jeff Monks, but still not good. So yeah, moving on. So now we get to what was easily the most overhyped episode in a while, since probably the last movie, like the second movie. He overhyped the shit out of that one. This one was Sister Location. Now I did actually do an in-depth review of it. That was my first review as like a comeback, and after a couple weeks of not reviewing them. And I did not like this video. I still do not like this video. This is just depressing and disappointing and just kind of pathetic. I mean, all the FNAF videos were pretty solid up to this point. Granted, there was some, flaws here and there, but they were all really good. And this one, they just completely ran out of ideas and they didn't know what to do. Logan himself said that he didn't really love it and that he didn't know how to make it scary, and that he didn't even play Sister Location until a few days before they actually recorded the video, which is just stupid. He didn't really have much knowledge of it. They just kind of threw together the suits after a few months, and he hyped it up. and it just was stupid. And the reason why is because it was basically a tour guide video, a Brooklyn tour guide video where he just walks around the building and, the locations and shows off the suits. And then it gets a little bit spooky, and there's kind of like a little arc with Penelope being stuck in one of the machines or the animatronics, the suits or whatever. Um, and I like that. That was one of the things I said was positive about the video. I was like, I like the Penelope stuff because it was a little bit interesting. It had something going there, but they just never focus on it too much. And the jokes feel very dumb and forced. And it just feels like maybe the first 7 minutes are just them walking around and being goofy. And it's just not, like, I get it. He didn't know how to make it scary, but maybe just not do this video, or at least not hype it up so damn much. He acted like this is the biggest video ever, and it just wasn't. It's just sad how much effort went into this just for it to be kind of like crappy. It's not awful though. I still gave this one a 6, and I think I'm gonna give it maybe a 5 now. Just because it is just a big slap in the face to us SML fans who got, really excited for this shit. But yeah, I mean, it just could have been a lot better. There was a couple good moments in here, and the Penelope stuff was interesting, but the rest of it was just crap and disappointing. So, and it wasn't awful though. I can at least give it that, but it's not saying much. That's about it. Next video. So now we got Brooklyn Guy's ear problem, one of the last March videos, so we're almost there. Brooklyn Guy's ear problem just kind of came out of nowhere. It's not a bad video. Honestly, I do think this one's a little bit better than Sister Location, but they kind of abuse the ear puns a lot, which I get it, that's the appeal of the video, but it's just not very funny. It loses its charm pretty quick. Basically, the whole idea with this one is it's kind of based off that situation with Mike Tyson biting off that dude's ear one time. And a Brooklyn Guy sees this happen on TV or whatever. It's like an auction. He's trying to get the ear just to basically brag about it and show it off, usual Brooklyn Guy shit. But then all this stuff goes wrong and he can't get the ear, so then he tries to bite off so he himself goes out and tries to bite off the dude's other ear, and he like gets successful with that, which I thought that part was hilarious when he bit it off and he's like screaming and then goes like the news section. I thought that was kind of funny, and there's some effort in this episode. Like, you can tell they kind of had an idea, even if it's just parodying like a situation again. But I do like all the jokes in it, even if the ear puns get a little bit ridiculous. But yeah, maybe like a 7 out of 10 I'm feeling for this episode. Not bad. Like, actually not that bad. Yeah, moving on. All right, now for Junior's trust issues. Now, I actually just got done reviewing this one a couple days ago, so we're almost there, right there. This video is pretty good. It's another Junior X Penelope video, which I kind of do like these. Granted, there's been some awful ones like Junior Scary Bump and, Junior Kidnaps Penelope, which I hated those, and I basically made rants on them. They weren't even just reviews, they were full-out rants because they just sucked. But this one, it's not that bad. A lot of people gave this one hate because it's basically just it's a very similar plot to some of the beginning Junior X Penelope videos where, Junior's too controlling or Penelope's too controlling, and they kind of bring that back and they don't really like do a whole lot with it. And it kind of sucks. Like, I wish they would take this relationship in a different direction instead of like, he needs to see who she's texting or he thinks she's cheating on him, blah, blah, blah. Like, it could be a lot better, and I feel like there's a lot of good ideas with Junior Penelope, but instead Logan wants to just be lazy and kind of, make another half-assed whatever Junior freaking out or Penelope freaking out type video. But it's funny. The chemistry with the Junior and the boys is just amazing, and Penelope's not too bad in it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it maybe a 7.5 out of 10, maybe even an 8. But it's not that great. Like, it's not perfect. It's still pretty rough, but it's a really good. I don't know. It's more of like a personal bias. But I do like these videos. But yeah, Logan definitely needs to do something new with this relationship, or just end it, I guess, if he can't think of anything. So yeah, moving on to the last video. Yeah, moving on. All right, now for the last episode of March. Easter Bunny goes to jail. This one is the big Easter special. I don't even remember what the last Easter special was. I don't think I watched it. But yeah, this one's actually pretty good. It's a little bit eh. I mean, it starts off funny and then it kind of just turns into about like 5 minutes of animations. Granted, there's breaks in between with the boys, and these actually aren't that bad. Like usually I hate the animations, but it's mostly because they're all filler and it's all Brooklyn guy animations all the time. They're just really ridiculous and boring to watch. But these ones were a bit more funny because the whole idea is that they're coming up with ways to break the Easter Bunny out of jail because he gets sent to jail for basically hitting this kid with the egg and being on crack all the time and going crazy. So they're thinking of ways to get him out of jail, and they do come up with a lot of stupid stuff. But the part I love about it is that Cody breaks down every single like situation and tells them why it can't happen and why it's not even possible. And I just love that because Cody gets so real in the video. But eventually they do go to jail, and it's the whole jail scene, which I thought was pretty tight. And there's the whole thing with Brooklyn guy and Simmons, which is funny. And then they do end up breaking the Easter Bunny out of jail, but then they realize he's not a great person. They immediately realize that, and then trying to get Brooklyn guy. He comes after them to get the Easter Bunny back. And the ending I like a lot because it's just so random. Joseph brings over like 100,000 people, which was part of one of his like failed plan ideas, but he actually went through with it. And then they all start jumping, like the whole earth like explodes or whatever. I actually thought that was really funny. Like that ending, it's a bit stupid, yeah, but it's really funny. So yeah, this video, it has some flaws. It dragged on a bit too long. There's too many animations. They didn't do a whole lot once they broke the Easter Bunny out of jail. But I still think it was a pretty good video. So I'm going to go maybe 7.5 out of 10 to end off March. So overall, I think I'm going to give March a solid. There's some rough episodes, a lot of lost potential, but it was mostly good. Surprisingly, it was mostly good. Maybe a 7.5 out of 10 for March. I'm not sure if I could give it an 8 because there are some videos that are really like they piss me off, but like there's nothing too awful that like there's not like a bunch of bad videos, it's mostly decent or really good with a couple bad eggs in there. I get it, eggs because Easter, but seriously, yeah, not a bad month. Definitely could have been better, but I think it's one of the better 2024 months for Logan. Definitely better than January, I can tell you that. And, there's some lazy ideas in here, and it definitely could have been, a lot better. But Logan did try a little bit with episodes like Pot of Gold and, the Brooklyn Guys Makeover I liked a lot. And there was some unique concepts here. So, not all bad. But yeah, let me know if I should keep doing these, if you like these. I know the last video got some decent views. I'm not sure if this one will, but I'm going to try to keep doing these every month at the start of the month within the first few days. This one, I guess I'm a little bit late too, but not too late. So yeah, like, subscribe, hit your boy up later, and peace. Stay lit, and yeah, take care.